Well, guys, I can honestly say that I did not see this one coming, but I love the move that AMC just made. This is going to be big for the fundamental picture of AMC. They just acquired 22% of a gold mining company, and this is actually one of the main headlines on CNBC. It says movie theater chain AMC just bought a stake in a tiny gold miner with a shaky financial history. That is not the right way to put that. You got to look at this on the bigger picture and what kind of value this could bring, because AMC got a hell of a deal on it. So I want to go over that as well as what to expect tomorrow, because the Fed meeting is tomorrow at 2 p.m. How is the markets going to trade? What is potentially going to happen? How should you position your portfolio? That's what we need to cover here in this video. Of course, we will be talking about this later on today as well, because the situation could change by the end of the day, and this is more of an intraday update, so stay tuned for that one as well. And we are also, as always, going to go over all of the other data that you guys need to know. So let's not waste any time. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, as well as come join the trading community. Link down below in the pinned comment to do so for that. Go ahead, follow me on Twitter as well. That is free 99. It costs you nothing to do. And if you want to get some free money, check out the link down below in the description for Mumu. Deposit $1, get 3 free stocks, as well as an additional free share of Neo, all for a singular dollar. Costs less than a Snicker bar. So without any further ado, let's get into this video. So I just read this headline to you guys, and when you look at that, you don't really get a bullish picture out of it. It's not really putting things the right way. I actually, believe it or not, want to take a look at this Motley Fool article and what they said. It says why AMC struck gold today, and quite literally, it says that AMC, along with precious metals investor Eric Sprott, are each investing $27.9 million in cash for 22% stakes in Highcroft Mining, which owns more than 70,000 acre Highcroft mine in northern Nevada. The investment makes AMC and Mr. Sprott the second largest shareholders in the small mining company. AMC CEO Adam Aron described the investment as a winning proposition for both companies, he said in a statement. And this is Adam Aron's statement. He says, "Our strategic investment being announced today is the result of our having identified a company in an unrelated industry that appears to be just like AMC of a year ago. It too has rock solid assets, but for a variety of reasons, it has been facing a severe and immediate liquidity issue." This is the key. This is the key. The mine has about 15 million ounces of gold deposits and 600 million ounces of silver deposits. Keep in mind, AMC only paid $27.9 million, so that does not even put a dent in the $1.8 billion of liquidity that the company has. But what kind of dollar amounts does that amount to? 15 million ounces of gold, it sounds like a lot. Well, that's because it is a lot. It's $30 billion, valuing gold at $2,000 an ounce, which roughly that's what it's at. Let's take a look at the actual spot price as of right now, $1,930 per ounce. It's down about 1% today. So it's close to that $2,000 per ounce mark. So that would be $30 billion. Well, wait, they also have silver deposits. They have 600 million in silver deposits. So that's an additional $15 billion. So if you add 30 plus 15, that's $45 billion. Let's just say, let's type this in, $45 billion. I know this, the company is not going to be reflective of, they bought stock. They're not probably just going to get paid out the pure profits here. But nonetheless, this is how much money Highcroft could make, about $45 billion off of this single mine. Now, times this by 22%, because that's what 22% of their investment is, right? If they bought 22% of the company, that's almost $10 billion split, obviously 22% investment. So that's potentially $27 million into a couple $billion after you account for everything else. That's a pretty damn good investment if I ever seen one. And if you lose it, if it doesn't go as planned, you lost $27 million. out of 1.8 billion. I think this is a very smart strategic move, and it helps AMC to divest its assets, to divest some of that money into something else that could make them a lot more money, especially the state of the world we are in. Gold, silver, none of that is going away. I think silver has a lot of room to go on the upside. Not sure about gold. I don't follow that one as much, but I think both of these will even do better in the future than what they are right now. Historically, they do. So even if this investment took a year or two to pan out, I think it's going to be a solid step, and the better this Hycroft Mining Company does, the better it will reflect on AMC. So yes, when push comes to shove, when you crunch the numbers here, it makes a lot of sense for AMC to make this move, and I'm very happy with this move. Why am I especially happy with this move is because they got this so cheap. $27 million, like I said, even if they lost the whole thing, wouldn't hurt all too much comparatively to how much cash they have of $1.8 billion. Now, are they going to lose it? Absolutely not. What could they stand to make off of this? Billions of dollars. So I think this was a solid, rock solid move for the business, and I don't really think the markets are appreciating it as much. But on the other hand, their investment is already up. The stock is up 25% today. So AMC theoretically already made about $7 or $8 million off of this investment if they sold out today. But Hycroft Mining, their revenue was up 157.72% year over year as far as September 2021. So the situation is not looking all too bad for Hycroft Mining at the current moment, but they do have a little bit of debt. Big deal. They'll be just fine. They have 15 million ounces of gold and 600 million ounces of silver. They'll be just fine. Financial media has a way of portraying things to get clicks without providing you context or actual data here or facts like I just did. That's why you want to subscribe to the channel. But regardless of that, this is not going to affect AMC stock as much as the Fed will. So that's what we need to talk about here in this video as well now, because AMC stock is now break even. It's at $13.56 per share. I've made the fundamental case for this. We're not seeing a move down right now based off of a bad fundamental picture here. The fundamental case, in my opinion, is better than it has been in a very long time. But the Fed coming out tomorrow, they're going to raise rates. We know that. 0.25%. The markets are like, hey, what if they raise 0.5%? What if they raise more aggressively because inflation is too high? What if they pull Volcker us and send the economy into a recession? Are people going to go to movie theaters? You know, if AMC needed to raise money, not by issuing stock, what would happen? I mean, they would have to pay more. So the markets are freaking out. They're also freaking out, not as much today, but obviously about Russia, Ukraine. There was a statement that came out today that actually said the Kremlin, which is like the Russian White House, for lack of a better word there, they said that Kiev, I get made fun of for saying that. Kiev, I call it Kiev, this capital of Ukraine, they are not willing to negotiate and come to an end to this war. I find that highly unbelievable, but the markets did take a big move down off of that earlier in the day today. That was this drop right here. Markets did recover. I think they realized that was just bullshit. But nonetheless, you're not really seeing anything good necessarily coming out from that situation today. There is talks, I believe, still going on, and we should get more information on that possibly later on today. But the markets are doing pretty well regardless of all the fear that is going on, up 1.4% on the SPY as of right now. But you do have this crisis that is going on in China with COVID, as well as the financial crisis, the Russian financial crisis, the Europe financial crisis. Europe's about to go into a recession. So there's a lot of fears here, but the markets, like I projected, either Monday or Tuesday would have a bounce, and that's exactly what we are seeing today, and it's a quite substantial bounce, you know, up almost 1.5% right now. But what to expect tomorrow? That's the key. Well, let me give you the outlook of the day. We're not going to move that much to one direction or the other before the Fed meeting. We're just simply not. you're not going to move too crazy. You're not going to drop a couple percentage points. You're not going to go up a couple percentage points before the Fed meeting or the Fed statement, which the Fed statement comes out at 2 p.m. So it's later into the day. And what comes out at 2 p.m. is the Fed dot plot, the summary of economic growth projections, which we don't get all of the time. That goes over inflation expectations, GDP growth estimates, where the Fed sees the economy, what they plan to do as far as raising rates. It goes over a lot. So investors are going to have to take both of those in, as well as an official Fed statement. And you're going to see a huge move in the markets. You're going to see a very volatile move in the markets right at 2 p.m. as the trading algorithms scan over what is said in the dot plot, what is said in the summary of economic growth projections, what the prepared statement is for the Fed. Markets are going to be very volatile. They could go down a lot or they could go up a lot, but that is not going to be the final move. Fed Jerome Powell will come out at about 2:30 p.m. and give his statement again, give a little brief statement about what was said, what the Fed is doing, and then he will take questions from reporters, and that's what really moves the markets, and that is when you will see that actual confirmation of the move, more or less. Now, I've seen times where you get the Fed meeting, you get this Fed report, the markets will drop. Next day, they will actually rally off of that. So it's going to be very important that you guys pay attention to the channel, especially tomorrow at that 4 o'clock video, because there's going to be a couple key things the markets really pay attention to. And that's going to be obviously what the dot plot says, how the Fed expects to raise interest rates, what the growth rate is projected to be, and what the inflation rate is projected to be. But I do think you're going to have a lot of good and bad to go out of this. But the one thing the markets care about when it comes down to it is what is the Fed going to do as far as raising rates. And I think the markets pricing in 7 rate hikes at the current moment is just pricing in too much. So I still think you will see a bullish reaction. You could see a red day tomorrow, but I think, and I would put my money on this, that you will see a bullish reaction at least on Thursday and Friday. I think this move down is an overreaction in a lot of specific stocks, and especially a lot of stocks that would be hardest hit, like AMC, SoFi, PayPal, Square, Affirm, from interest rate increases. So that's basically the outline of what to expect tomorrow, what is going to happen. It's going to be a very volatile one. I would much rather, personally, at this stage, wait to see which direction the market takes and then play the move after the Fed. There's really no reason, in my opinion, to take a big gamble before the Fed when you could wait until to see how the markets react and then play that after move, because typically the after move is actually bigger than the move from the Fed report. So that's really what I would do. Probably wait to see what the markets do, to trade either direction, because it could go either way when it comes down to it. But I think all logical sense here, it will be a bullish reaction. Now let's get into some of the data that you guys need to know around AMC stock. And if we're looking at the option flow sentiment, we're only seeing 4 orders for the day, about $700,000, positive order value of 0%. You're seeing a lot of these March 18th puts that are coming through. Here's a $14.50 put for $77,000, a 13 put, $12 put, 14 puts right here. Lots of puts you are seeing as far as the option activity. Look at this, April 14th, $16 put, 5,000 contracts. What is that? $1.69 million. A $16 put and a $14 put. Both of these single trades over $1 million. So there's a lot of artificial shorting that is going on. I don't think there's a lot of actual sellers in this stock. And when you're seeing a lot of artificial shorting, or just a lot of shorting in general, it can drive down the share price in the very short term. But if you don't see the actual shareholders selling, then eventually the stock price will rebound, and when it does, it will be very fast, because there's always going to be a back end obligation on these artificial short positions like puts. You could lose all your money, or you have to hedge out, and that would be a bullish reaction, right? By hedging out your short position. And same thing just on the regular shorted shares. They have to cover eventually. But nonetheless, the short interest is 20.81%. Current shares that are sold short of 107.21 million. Cost to borrow max of 2.4%. Utilization of 100%. Days to cover sitting at 2.7. The Untitled Tracker data is still looking very encouraging. About 5,500 calls that are in the money, about 400,000 that are out of the money. So if you do see that bullish reaction Thursday or Friday, you could see a mega bounce. You could see a huge ass bounce on Thursday or Friday because you don't have a lot of time left to expiration. If you do see a lot of contracts run into the money, that's going to mean instant hedging. And that's where you can see those 17, 20, 25% positive days on Thursday and Friday. We called out 2 of them in the last 3 months down to the actual day. So you're definitely setting up for one of those scenarios, and you could actually see a 30% positive day based off of the option chain numbers that we are seeing. Even look at the put side. In the money puts at 125,000, out of the money puts at 52,000. That's a total of about 40 million shares that might have to be hedged for on the out of the money call side, and about 12.5 million shares that would have to be bought on the in the money put side if these in the money puts went out of the money. A lot of that open interest for the put side especially is held at that $15 strike. So if we can break above 15 Thursday or Friday, then I think you're set to go above 20 per share, in my personal opinion. Obviously, could be wrong, not financial advice, but that does look pretty logical in my personal opinion, given my theory here and the data that we are seeing. Now, the max pain is at $20 per share by Friday, so that would obviously suggest a big move to the upside as well. We don't have the margin debt that is coming in. I'm very excited to see what this does come in at. That should come in here in about the next week or so, and I would expect this to move down. If this moves down a lot, then the liquidity situation is definitely coming to a head. But we still have a little bit of time left. Like I said, I think all of this, all of the Russia sanctions, the Russia financial crisis, the Europe financial crisis, the China financial crisis will come to a head really in summer, end of summer, early fall, and I think that's when liquidity will be at its lowest, as the Fed is in a tightening cycle, deep into a tightening cycle at that point, and that's really where you could be prone to see the MOAS. As far as AMC on the technical picture, need to get to $15 per share. That's really all that matters. RSI is sitting on that really oversold level. The MACD is pretty almost neutral, but it is on the bearish side. But that spread is not nearly as wide as it could be, considering that spread right there and this bullish spread right here. It could be a lot more bearish, but it's simply not. AMC up 0.5% at the time of recording this video. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you found some value out of this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys. Get your free stocks, links down below in the description. If you want to come join the trading community, like I said, link down below in the pinned comment. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.